What's up, Colorado Realtors? I'm Scott Peterson. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Legal Bites. It's Monday, April 6th, end of the day here, and wanted to push this out as a follow-up to Friday's edition of Legal Bites, where was talking about the Attorney General's office, who had been asked for some additional clarification related to showings specifically in the exception for a critical business. And that we got some of that clarification today, and I just want to fill you guys in on what that is. I'm not sure it's an answer some of you are going to love, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So in the Attorney General's office's position, that the designation of real estate transactions, and that's how it was defined in the governor's executive order, as a critical business is not intended to encompass the full spectrum of broker activities, especially those activities such as in-person showings and open houses that could compromise public health by expanding public exposure. So what that's essentially saying is showings are not something that is consistent with the critical business that a real estate broker in the state of Colorado is able to do. And for obvious reasons, that really puts a cap onto things that are currently under contract and proceeding, at least at a minimum, I would say, towards closings. There's some additional language in this email that I received that essentially says the third updated public health order, which was dated April 1st, 2020, that was issued pursuant to the stay-at-home order, does not consider real estate marketing services such as in-person showings and open houses to be a critical business/service. Only real estate transactions that actually transfer real property ownership, in parentheses it says closings, are permissible, and even they must comply with the social distancing requirements set forth in the third updated order. Of course, any broker activities that can be done remotely from home in compliance with these orders would be permissible. So, of course, marketing functions that you're doing from your home are all fine, but the reality of it is, in the Attorney General's interpretation of the various amended orders that have come down from the governor's office, that showings being done in person and out looking prospectively at properties is not an acceptable exception to the governor's order. So where does that leave us? Well, it does seem very clear from their perspective that showings are not to be taking place. We are looking to get some additional clarification. It's my understanding there might be some more clarification from the governor tonight with regard to the overall orders. I don't know if we're expecting anything specific to real estate transactions in there, but potentially an extension or some other modification to the overall stay-at-home order. That might come tonight. The Division of Real Estate's meeting tomorrow, and we might potentially get a little bit of guidance or advice, clarification from them with regard to the Attorney General's perspective, and that could at some point be forthcoming here in the next day or so. In the meantime, it's going to pretty well hamper, at least I think, your ability to carry on with a buyer just going out and sort of looking at houses. We're looking at a number of houses during the course of a day, and candidly, if I'm to read this as it's written, and I think it intended clearly, that those kinds of activities are marketing activities, and unless you have a property that is under contract and you're doing things directly in anticipation of a closing, then you're not to be doing those things. And so I do know this. Some of this analysis was instigated by some activities that provoked a cease and desist letter. I know that the Division of Real Estate has also received some complaints from folks related to neighbors and other people potentially perceiving that business and showings are carrying on as usual. And so, that's one of the challenges. If you're if you've got a listing and it's got a for sale sign in the yard and you've got neighbors, on all sides, and they're watching multiple people come in and out of a property during the course of the day, it is certainly the kind of thing that could be reported or called out, and in that case could potentially inspire some action by the Attorney General's office. So no, not the greatest news. I'm giving it to you as we're getting it here, and I know there was a number of people waiting for some additional clarification, and that's what I've got at this point. We are continuing to work as an association with all of the sort of network and contacts that we have to get additional clarity and to try and understand what we can and can't do or allow or advise you guys to do or not do. And so I can only ask for patience. In the meantime, I just do want you to understand what the current interpretation by the AG's office is with regard to that order. And stay tuned here. At some point in the next 24 hours or so, we're going to be pushing out some additional information. As soon as we get it, we will get it out to you guys. But that's the latest and greatest here at the end of the day on Monday, April 6th. And if you have questions, you try and call the Car Legal Hotline tomorrow. It's open from 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. And we can try and give you some guidance there. But, we only know what we know in terms of interpretation. So if I have new stuff that comes out of either the real estate commission meeting that's going to occur tomorrow morning in their normal business or any place else, then I'll make sure that myself and any of the other hotline attorneys are up to date with that and can give you some more specific guidance if possible. But bear with us. We're all working through this in the same sort of breakneck velocity, and that's where we're at as of this moment in time. So hope everybody's staying safe and healthy out there, and I will see you probably tomorrow on another edition of Legal Bites. Thanks so much.